Alright, and welcome back to already the third round in Couch Cup number 4 here in Berkeley, California. And it's game number 2. And yes, you heard it. You hear my voice. So that means I again won the first game of this round with a wonder, actually. So I hope you watched that game as well once we cast it. But here in the game, or in the round left, we have Aka, Food Please, Jesse the Emperor, and Fredinovic. And they fight for the scraps, although scraps means 2 more points. And we see that Aka, in the green as always, has the Franks. And yes, we look at his point of view. Now, you might be confused at first because you see that we have a lot of villages, we have a castle, and we have a pause and also the king. So the pause is just because the players were a little bit confused about the number of villages, but it's all fine. That's just how Regicide works these days. I would have preferred if it was just the king, but I think on Black Forest it doesn't really matter too much. Even though it means that unique units are a little bit stronger. And speaking of unique units, Aka has a okay-ish unique unit, but I think not in these settings. But he has a strong cavalry, so I'm sure he will make something happen there. So King is a great scout. The King is faster than any other unit in the Dark Age, so you should just use it for scouting, but don't get it trapped behind enemy lines. Now let's move to the next player, which is Jesse the Emperor. And Jesse is in the orange, playing as the Hindustanis. And I'm not sure if he's familiar with the bonuses of the Hindustanis, but I think it could be an okay choice here against the other players, because the hand cannoneers are pretty strong with their +2 extra range, and especially if you have choke points and defend, then with hand cannoneers and bombard cannons, you can make something happen there if he maybe goes for a wonder victory. Now in the red we have Food Please, now no longer named Food King, aptly so, who is in the red. He is playing Turks. Now Turks, it's an interesting pick because they are very, very strong, especially in the setting where you have a castle. However, you have to keep in mind that the Janissaries were nerfed recently, so they have 1 less range, the normal version at least. Oh, disaster boar lure, luring the boar, and the boar just walks back again. Now more geese are being eaten, so it looks like a typical Food Please hunting trip that he does in real life. But at least he got the geese, so not too unsuccessful. So, but coming back to the Turks, they have very strong units, very strong gunpowder units, so he can make very strong pushes happen, but in the very, very late game they lack a lot of trash. They only have spearmen and normal skirmishers, so it can be pretty bad for them. But since this is Regicide, he can just easily snipe an enemy's king and just win that way. And he's also using the king for scouting, which is definitely recommended here. Now finally, our 4th player here is Fredinovic with the Bohemians, another very good gunpowder civilization with Hufnitze, and I think Halberdier Hufnitze is a very, very strong composition that's super hard to stop, unless you are the Turks with their unique tech, which gives the bombard cannons +2 range, but still micro is very important and very difficult. Yeah, so this is Black Forest, so we got a lot of wood lines, but you also have a lot of crossings. So you see there's a crossing here between Aka and Fredinovic, there's one between Fredinovic and Food Please, and then there's this whole mess in the center where you have all these avenues. Now another specialty about Black Forest is that you have a lot of boars. So see these 6 boars that you have here, and it always pays off to try to lure these back to your TC, but it is difficult. The pro players can lure all 6 at the same time. There's some clips, you can look it up. It's amazing, but I'm not sure if our players can do it, but they should try, I think, just for to give us some exciting clips to watch. Now Fredinovic maybe using the king to push the deer. I'm not sure if that is possible. Probably deer don't react to the king.
I'll try to.
Yes, but but actually a king has 0 attack, but it can still deal damage under certain circumstances. So I think you could kill your deer with a king if you're not careful. Yeah, so Black Forest. Interestingly, in normal Black Forest, people rush forward with their villager. And we see that here, Frediniewicz has a villager forward, but the scout of Herr Acker is here. So Frediniewicz has to panic wall his villager in. But coming back to that, usually you rush your villagers forward in the beginning to wall off these choke points as far forward as possible, because then you just have more of the map, more resources, and that's just worth it. Although Frediniewicz going a little bit for chicken walls here, walling across here, and now Food Please coming in with a scout, but the problem is his scout is already weak. So he won't be able to kill this villager of Frediniewicz. And look at this, look at this. Did you see it? But I think Frediniewicz also saw it, that there is still a hole. Otherwise, nothing else is being walled. So everyone's playing super greedy. Everyone's like, puff, no one will attack anyways. Like, they're all passive. Now finally some walls by Food Please, and you see why it is important to rush forward and wall off, because now Food Please controls this choke point. Basically is already inside of the base of Jesse the Emperor. But he will need to rewall in Feudal Age with stone walls, because these paper thin walls are just not good enough. Now Herr Acker doing the sensible thing. He is also walling off this choke point, actually in a good position for him. As I said, I don't like the walls of Frediniewicz. Now Herr Acker could take the boars. All of the players slowly making their way up to the Feudal Age, and let's see what they will do. I think they will all go for some kind of fast castle into boom, play defensive at first. However, one or the other player might go for a sneaky snipe. But now the question is, who do you snipe here? For instance, if you're Food Please, probably you want to snipe Frediniewicz just because of the map positions and also the strength of the players. But he could also go through the center and snipe Herr Acker, who is also very, very strong, free-for-all player these days. Although he had a little bit of an unfortunate place this tournament, but I think he can make something happen here in this round. Or do you even snipe Jesse the Emperor? Just get rid of him before he becomes a threat, because we have seen that Jesse the Emperor is a very good sniper. He was sniping down TCs left and right in the last round, which was an amazing sight to behold, and which awarded him his first victory. So let's see what the players will go for. Now Herr Acker, I think he is taking the boars. He is even taking both boars. Nicely done. And you see that it's actually easier to take 2 boars sometimes, because the boars tend to bump into each other and stop a little bit. Although no such luck here for Herr Acker, and he needs to be careful with this villager. It's still a long walk towards the TC. I mean, he should just about make it. 2 more hits by the boar, 1 more. Now he can afford to get 1 more hit in. A little bit of a bad pathing. Now this comes down to the wire. There's no villages underneath the town center. But yes, now 1 boar already going back. No, he stops it. Now he needs to micro the villagers. 1 villager going down. This is why you don't want to lure 2 boars at this skill level, because you will just lose villagers. But he only loses 1 villager for 700 food, and I think that's actually worth it. Getting 700 food underneath the town center, well played there. Now nice walls by Jesse the Emperor. Look at this. This is what I want to see. Stone walls in the face of Herr Acker. In the face. And now Food Please also doing nice walls, also doing stone walls here. What we don't see is fish booming by no player, even though that's the pro players actually. It sounds ridiculous, but they build docks in these small ponds and actually create a lot of fishing ships, because you get much more economy much quicker. Now Freddy walling off this side again. A little bit of chicken wall. Would have been easier to just wall across here and across this tiny little gap, but yeah, that is just what he does. And Food Please, yeah, he's not taking any chances. He's just doing the stone walls. Nice play there by him. Jesse, he's scouting. He's looking where to be a pest. He walled in Herr Acker, but he's keeping the gate open. So how nice of Jesse to let Herr Acker through if he so desires. So this is a very friendly wall here by Jesse the Emperor. Of course, all over the map we got some snow leopards that may attack your villager, so be careful about that. Now we see Jesse. Jesse is a little bit confused by the wall placements here. And look at this. This could have been the wall of Radinovic, but now it's the wall of Food Please, who just places a nice little gate. And the Haka kills the villager of Jesse the Emperor, which is in the middle of nowhere. That's almost too brutal. I mean, Jesse is just scouting. He's just having a nice walk in the mountains there. But not with Herr Acker, who is on the hunt for points. Let's see what the people know. So Herr Acker doesn't have the greatest scouting, I must say. He doesn't even see the crossings here. So he definitely needs to work on that. Usually Black Forest is played on Explored, but I didn't specify that. So fair enough. And now Herr Acker is walling across this choke point, and then he needs to wall across this choke point and also this choke point. So he has... so in his position, maybe it would have been better to just wall across here. But... I mean, it's still fine. Jesse's sending in another villager into nowhere. What are these walls by Jesse the Emperor? This is just ridiculous. And rightfully so, he is being converted by Food Please, who makes this villager his. Jesse is just too brazen with the walls. That's just too much because there are too many other players. These are not your choke points to wall. Yeah, otherwise, I think what will happen here is that Fredinovic, who is just 3TC booming, might just run away with this game because he's just the best macro player here. If we look at the villager number, he has 42 villagers compared to 28 of Jesse. So he's just much better in producing economy. And I think the other players are just fumbling a little bit too much. And now we have more villagers of Jesse. What are you doing, Jesse? Why are you walling there? There's not for you to wall your own choke point. It's ridiculous. Like, he's walling over here. That's a little bit too ambitious for sure. Although Herr Acker also, as I said, a little bit too ambitious, maybe just here and here. But now the scout is here, but they could easily fight the scout, the villagers, but I don't think Jesse the Emperor will realize that he can fight the scout, or maybe he does. No, he does not, and so the scout might even get another kill. The scout already has one Jesse kill. Now they're fighting the scout, but scout got another kill, and this one will be close as well, because there's a villager close by. So a lot of losses there by Jesse. I don't like the strategy. Jesse should just only wall his choke points, and then boom behind and get ready for a big push. Also, Food Please walled him in, but you also need to wall at the same location, because otherwise Food Please can just delete his own palisades and houses, and then he's through and can easily snipe the Emperor. So yeah, losing 3 more villagers here is Jesse the Emperor down to 25 villagers. That is a ridiculous start, all because he was too ambitious with the walls. Like, this does not give you anything at all. And meanwhile, Freddy just booming, double layer of stone wall. Yeah, that's what you gotta do in these maps. Maybe even consider fortified wall, which I had last game. It's very nice. And again, and what is this, Jesse? And 3 more villagers that he will lose. Soon he will have 0 villagers. Yeah, so this is a little bit ridiculous. I think you should just wall off the choke post. Maybe just wall here, and then you can later wall here. So that's maybe much better. But yeah, maybe he will figure it out in the end. Now going for a camel rider as well. All the players meanwhile in the castle age. And let's see what they are cooking. Is anyone preparing a sneaky attack, maybe with some unique units, some food trucks, some Hussite wagons? But we don't see that so far. We don't see anything from the players in that regard. I mean, only the kings garrisoned in the castles. Although I wonder, yeah, Jesse also has his king in the castle. Sometimes people just forget their king and the king runs somewhere and then they're GG. Yes. And now finally, I mean, look at this. So the last two players, Aka and Jesse, last two players in the standings, are constantly fighting each other.
Yeah.
And that is just not the right strategy from either player. Just wall off close to your base and then you can still re-wall. Now having throwing axemen against camels. Yeah, camels are weak, but they're better than throwing axemen. Especially if they're Hindustani camels. So I think Haka just needs to give this up. Just boom. I mean, yeah. He has 3 TCs, which is more than Jesse, who never built more than a 1 TC. And it seems like Fuplis is getting ready for the snipe. He just wants this extra space to himself. He's like, the Emperor, be gone, Emperor. Yeah, he prepares the siege workshop. As I said, he can just delete the walls. He's through. He will just kill the Emperor, no questions asked. Now prepping the university as well. So there will be just 2 bombard cannons and a few janissaries is enough to kill the Emperor, who has nothing because he's constantly fighting again with Aka, and this is just such a bad strategy. Why are those 2 players fighting about a stupid choke point? There's more choke points. Aka doesn't even know about this choke point here. Now finally he does, but he needs to wall it. Instead of placing the castle there, just wall it. Now he cannot wall it anymore. So Jesse could still run through and yeah, siege works. I think Fuplis will just go up to Imp, which he's already doing. And he gets chemistry instantly. He will prepare a couple of bombard cannons and he will just steamroll Jesse the Emperor and also steamroll Aka. I don't see Aka stopping this once Fuplis has steamrolled Jesse the Emperor. But then the problem is Fuplis has left the most dangerous player for last, who already has these disgusting castles in the economy, so he's unrateable. The complete economy is safe. 4 town centers. Fuplis in Imperial Age. Fredinovic also on the way. He should get chemistry if he doesn't already have it, because the Bohemians can get chemistry in the Castle Age already. And yeah, and look at this in the center, still fighting between Jesse and Haka. Just let it go. Let it go. You're losing the game. You're out of this game. Jesse and Haka are out of this game. Like, it seems like they're content with only having a single point, whereas both of them could easily have gotten 2 points. Now we got bombard cannons here by Fuplis. Will he wield them against Jesse the Emperor, who has not even walled here? So this is an open invitation for a king snipe. So yeah, let's see what he's doing, or if all of this is just a bluff to go for Fredinovic, who has gone for the ridiculous. Okay, so it's clear Fredinovic will go for a wonder victory at this point because he has the walls prepared. He has the economy prepared, and he will just put a wonder in the back, and the others will not be able to do anything at all. And just bombard or hoof needs a hand cannon and maybe a few halberdiers is enough. There's more walls coming up, and I think maybe it's a race for a wonder. Maybe Fuplis needs to build his own wonder, but at this point it's quite clear what his strategy is, and yeah, that's why I don't like. Also, I don't like this. Why are you attacking Jesse the Emperor? He's not a threat. Like, come on, he's just not a threat. And all of this time is wasted, and Freddy just gets all the time in the world to come back and get 2 more points, which is more than you would want to give him. At the same time, Haka and Jesse still fighting. Like, this is just ridiculous. But yeah, I think instead it should have been a wonder race from Fuplis. Just drop the wonder. Just drop it. Because it's clear that there's no way you can stop the wonder of Fredinovic unless all players coordinate, but they have already shown that they don't like to coordinate. Fuplis pushing Jesse the Emperor, just pushing him out of the game. The king is still alive. I'm wondering where the king is. Probably somewhere in the back. But oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. But yeah, this is just a waste of time. Fupli's wasting time, Haaka wasting time, Freddy and Jesse the Emperor being killed. Just weak play overall, and that gives Freddy, and who is even doing more walls. There's no way they can ever kill this Wonder at all. That's coming up. And yeah, this is ridiculous. Haaka has nothing. Like, he was delayed so much by Jesse the Emperor. And so I think this is going to be a quick game. I mean, Jesse has 26 villagers, Haaka has 86, and Freddy with 126. He's building more and more castles. 1, 2, 3, 4 castles over here in his economy. So many town centers, fortified walls everywhere. 1 layer, 2 layer, 3 layers, 4 layers, 5 layers. And house walls, more layers. And he's just waiting for the right moment to drop the castle. He also needs the upgrades. He needs a halberdier, he needs the plate barring armor, he needs Hoofnitze, which is all on the way. And I don't know, Fuplis needs artillery, and he needs to either drop his own wonder at immediately, basically. He just needs to drop it here. Look at this. Just drop the wonder here, and then you can worry about the walls later. Meanwhile, Jesse is just completely dead. Like, no reason. Like, doesn't make sense to do this, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, you need the space, but you don't need the space. You have so much space, and why not pressure the stronger player, which he could have easily done, because he was faster to imp. He had the bombard cannons out. He had the janissaries out, and there's nothing that Fredini which could have done to defend from the push of Fuplis with those units. But now it's just too late. Now the Hoofnitze is almost ready. And there it is, as I said, the wonder is there, and there's no way of stopping it, I would say. And I don't know if Haaka again will even fight in this, because why should he? I mean, it's just, he has nothing. He basically has absolutely nothing. Just a few knights, and one thing you need to know about the Halberdiers of the Bohemians is that they deal extra bonus damage to cavalry, so they're even more scary. Now let's see if Rady is able to complete this wonder. Yes, already at 13%. He's also researching Bombard Tower. He's getting all the upgrades. He does have the Hoofnitze, and then we have all these choke points. I mean, it's Black Forest. You cannot push on Black Forest. This game is over. We're just waiting for Radinovic to to finish the wonder and win this game, basically. Unless there is another way, a surprising way of coming back in this. Now, Fuplis like, I pushed Jesse the Emperor. Why does it not work? Why do I not win the game? Yes, because it's useless. Oh, by the way, the king of Jesse is the king getting mauled by cannons. But the king is just dodging everything. The king is invincible. What is this? Wow, this is a Matrix style king. Now even running underneath the TC, he just doesn't care. Like, his king lives. I mean, Jesse the Emperor, still 26 villagers and a king and a dream. So, a lot is still possible. Now, the interesting thing is, Haaka also started to build a wonder there. Of course, he will be later. He will be later. You need treadmill crane from the university, by the way, to speed it up a little bit. So that's another important tech for wonder races, which is also something you can do. But look at this. Look at where Fuplis is stuck. But of course, it's a good idea to build the secondary wonder, because in case the first wonder gets destroyed, your wonder might be the one to stand. However, I don't like this location, because look at this. You could sit bombard cannons or trebuchets here, and then your wonder is dead. So I would have preferred it somewhere over here. I mean, yes, you need to build a few more walls, or maybe even over here, just a little bit further away. Now, Fuplis actually attacking the walls and slowly starting to push through the walls. I mean, yes, basically use these bomber cannons to go through 2 layers of walls. I think he's still, I don't know, do the Turks, sorry for looking this up, do the Turks yet siege engineers. No, they don't. Okay, so he does have the unique upgrade. His bomber cannons have 14 range, which is very, very strong. He got the Janissaries, which are basically stronger hand cannons, but they're not elite yet. That is interesting. But this is a very strong combo. That's easy to push into the economy of Fredinovic, who now is completing his wonder over there. At the same time, we see that Jesse the Emperor now has walled himself in, has put the king into a lovely watchtower on the hill. He's built a market, and I think he is ready to go back into the game. Yeah, he does have enough resources. He just needs 100 stone. And yeah, and it's interesting. Now it's an interesting dynamic because they need to kill Fredinovich's wonder, but then at the same time they need to be ready to kill Herr Akka's wonder. But as I said, Herr Akka is vulnerable on this side over here. And so you see why I didn't like the start of Jesse the Emperor. He was fighting too much for the center when it would have been a much better strategy to just boom, hide in the corner and prepare yourself for your own push. And yeah, this okay, maybe Jesse instead should go for a town center instead for a tower and a lumber camp, but that is fair enough. Now we see more pushing here by Food Please. Also Herr Akka, he's kind of helping. I mean, he's not doing much. Maybe he's waiting for a very important upgrade for his mangonels so that he can just circumvent all of these walls, but I don't think he's thinking about that. Now, what is this wonder? The Bohemian Wonder. I've never seen it. Ah, you know what it is? This is the clock tower in Prague, I think. Or something like that. Maybe. Maybe it's something else. It's a weird tower with some walls and some gardens around it. But yeah, so Fu Please pushing, and this is not what I expected, honestly. Where are the Hufnitze? I think honestly Fredinovic spent maybe a little bit too much money on the bombard towers, because the bombard towers cost stone and gold, and that's a lot of gold invested into his bombard towers. But now he has a Hufnitze over here, and now it's up to the micromanagement. But it's just, ooh, look at those shots here by the Turk bombard cannons, who have more HP.
What the fuck, Akka?
But
sorry, push was greedy.
But yeah, let's see. We hear bickering, so all the players are in a constant fight, and at the same time, Herr Akka's wonder is also up. He has the beautiful Frank Church, who just looks a little bit cut short on this side, but beautiful wonder. I think I prefer this one over the Bohemian Wonder. And yeah, now let's see this push happening. I think Foodplease is losing a lot of bombard cannon. He needs some support. There's this Hoof needs. Oh, no, it's the bombard tower that's actually shooting, and he's just not micro. Foodplease, shoot the bombard tower that's killing all your cannons. Oh, this is not great. Meanwhile, Jesse the Reboomer is slowly cutting away, and he might even cut through here, which could be decisive in this game. They are actually getting close. They are getting close to Fredinovich's wonder, and that is interesting. That is interesting. I think Foodplease even does have enough to just win this, but he just needs to micro properly, and then he could easily win this. He has so many cannons. It is absolutely incredible. He has 15 cannons here, but the cannons shoot at nothing. I think those are just some bad attack grounds. He just needs to go, kill the castles, kill this castle. And I think the problem for the wonder, for the player who goes for the wonder victory, is that his economy is in shambles, and it looks like Fredinovic didn't have enough of a bank to really keep spamming the units.
Oh shit! Sorry.
And so let's.
I go from the north. You go from the south.
I got this king.
No way.
Let's see, but the wonder can still win.
Really?
Yes, it's in the rules. It's in the rules. Yes, you have to destroy.
No, he's out.
Okay, but the wonder, if there's still a wonder standing.
Why do you give my strategy away? So that's a bit big.
I mean, it was clear.
No, it wasn't clear.
That's a bit...
I mean, it's a 3-minute spec delay. It's what I can do. It was very obvious, I think.
No, it was not.
I think
No one attacked me, no one
I think it was very obvious, but we have some frustration there by Fredinovic. I hope we will see that soon in the game. Now let's see if this wonder of Haaka will then overtake the wonder of Fredinovic, which is now being pushed, but it seems like the push of Fuplis has lost some steam here. And yeah, now we have the paladins here from Haaka coming in to support, but I think they're just fighting each other a little bit. I thought that one of the players might think about cutting, actually, using an onager to cut through to kill the wonder. But yeah, I think it was maybe just a little bit too early to drop the wonder here, because well, you can always switch strategy. I mean,
Not everything was prepared for that, but not at this moment.
well, all I can say is get good. Okay, we hear complaints. That is what I was waiting for. Like the whole cup, there was not many complaints. So
No,
finally,
don't complain about the gameplay. I complain about your casting.
well, I mean, this 3-minute spec delay. What can I do? I don't think I gave it away. I think the viewers will agree that it was quite obvious if you look at what he was doing here.
Yeah, if you don't see my face, it's obvious, for sure.
No, but I mean, you see the walls. There's triple layer walls, so someone definitely doesn't want to get attacked. But yeah, this push seems to be very, very strong.
What is his wonder position?
And yeah, so it seems like this wonder of Fredinovic will not stand at all, and then maybe the wonder of Haaka will stand. But as I said, it's in a precarious situation, especially if you look at what Fuplis has prepared over here. And Jesse the Emperor still in the game. He is rebooming. He has got this tower with his king, and then a fake tower with another unit inside. And we don't know which one is which.
You can hurt them.
Now, I mean, and the king of Fredinovic is just outside, and the king will just go down. And Fredinovic is defeated. Ah, the wonder crumbles. Okay, because on King of the Hill maps, the defeated player can still win. And I put it in the rules that the defeated player, if he wins by King of the Hill, he still wins. So that's why I was a little bit worried about that. But now Fredinovic is out. He gambled a little bit too much. I think because he had nothing to stop this push. I think he went a little bit too early. And I thought that Food Please focused a little bit too much on Jesse the Emperor, but still the 15 bombard cannons and Janissaries were enough. But now it's interesting that Haaka actually has a wonder that's about to basically win him the game in 65 years, but that's maybe a little bit too long. If you look at this, there's bombard cannons coming here, and he can just put them right here. Maybe protect them a little bit, although I don't think that Haaka can reach him that quickly. And I think also Fuplis will wait a little bit until he has enough of them so he can actually finally push the wonder. Meanwhile, there's still a fight over here between Haaka, and we got an issue.
Yeah, the battery's gone, but I haven't.
Oh, he's not using wired headphones, which is of course a mistake, because you should always use wired headphones. But anyways, let's come back to the game. Well, there's much happening outside of the game, to be honest, in this Black Forest game. I thought it would be smooth sailing, but it wasn't. Now Fuplis coming with the bomber cannons, and that's what I said. Like, why put the wonder here? It's just an invitation, and now.
The position was more than questionable.
I mean, it was a good move to drop the wonder, but the position was terrible. Like, imagine it was here. Then I think he would have had a very, very good chance of winning. But like this, he's just gonna die. The wonder is just gonna be dead in an instant. He's trying to repair, but at this point, it's not worth it. to do this. Jesse the Emperor now trying to cut trees with a mangonel. I think he's not aware that he needs the Onager upgrade to cut trees. He also needs to be in Imp for that. And the Wonder of Herr Acker goes down as well. And yes.
Ready? Yes. Yeah, ready?
The players still communicating. One player already out. Still 2 points up for grabs. Freddy really unhappy. I can understand him, but at the same time, I don't think they would have. No casting would have changed. Wouldn't have changed the game at all. The push was very strong from Food Please, who only reacted once the Wonder was being built. So the viewers could see it. Food Please was pushing Jesse the Emperor until the Wonder was being built, and only then he slowly started to redirect towards Frediniewicz. So the viewers, you can watch it in replay. I don't think it makes any difference. Now Food Please has these bomber cannons down here, and what else to do with them than to pester the Emperor, because the Emperor is still in the game, trying to reboom in this corner, and I don't know what the Emperor can do against the bombard cannons here. He has one mangonel, one decent shot there, but that's of course not enough to kill the bombard cannons there. And I think, yeah, Jesse not really coming back into this game. I think he's just, this walling in the center was just basically took him out of the game, and he's just not recovering. He needs to build more town centers. I challenge Jesse to build a second town center in the next game, which is what he has to do for sure. Also in the next round. Now we have Akka coming here through the center. He has the fully upgraded Paladins of the Franks. Very, very scary. And what do the Turks have against that? I mean, they have the camels. Now we got a pause here. But the camels cost gold. They don't have any halberdiers. And if you look at the resources here, we see that Food Please has stone left over here, which is not really taken, but I don't see that much gold. There's more stone. Here you could always sell that stone. More stone! There's so much stone on this map. This is absolutely ridiculous. And we have some gold as well, but it's hidden away in the forest. And yeah, I don't know where he would get his gold from, is Food Please, and he's really relying on gold. But he has prepared a lot of heavy camel riders, so if he can decimate the Paladin army, then also Herr Acker cannot afford to produce more of them. But of course, Herr Acker being a little bit more flexible in terms of the trash composition will be able to counter the heavy camel riders. Now the players had some problems. Herr Acker didn't have only had wireless Bluetooth headphones, and so he needed some time to switch to different headphones, but now I think they're back, and I think they're recommencing the game. Jesse basically out at this point, and it seems to be a 1v1 between Food Please and Herr Acker, and I don't know, I think the longer the game goes, the higher the advantage for Herr Acker will be. And if Herr Acker is able to find these 8 bombard cannons, which he should, he sees them, he should see them in the Fog of War, then that is massive. That's 8 times almost, exactly 450 resources. And that's just a lot of resources down the drain. So expensive, so valuable, these bombard cannons. But I don't know if those Paladins are on stand ground. They seem to have trouble hitting the bombard cannons, but now he's cleaning them. But at the same time, now the heavy camels could come in. And if they're not fumbling, and they could clean up all the Paladins. Let's see this. Franks Paladins against Turks heavy camels. Who will win at this point? It's not quite clear to me. There's a nice choke point there. I think that works in the favor of Food Please, who's also bringing in the Janissaries, but there's also some monks healing, and I think the monks need to be dealt with. There's more Paladins here, but nice choke points. The Janissaries doing a lot of damage here. Very, very nice battle over here. And I think Food Please might bring even more camels to the mix. No, I think he's happy with how this is going, because you can just kill all the Paladins of Herr Acker, who is helpless. Who needs maybe a little bit more micro. Now he's finally getting the idea of letting his opponent come in a little bit closer, but I think now his Paladin Mass is almost gone. And I think that Foodplies will be able to just clean this with his heavy camels and elite Janissaries. And yeah, I don't know. Let's look at the villager numbers. Foodplies and Herr Acker fully boomed, and military numbers very, very close, both at full population. And now it's just a grind to the end. It could have been a quick game if the second wonder would have been at a better location, or if Foodplies had his own wonder, but I think Foodplies was just very confident in his ability to win without a wonder, even with the Turks, who don't have any good late game options without any gold. Except for the Hussar, but we don't really see any Hussars mixed in yet. He still has a full-on gold composition, which is what you want to do in this situation. We see the first skirmishes mixed in here, probably against the Janissaries. Now finally the Paladins have been killed, and that was a massacre. That was a very expensive loss for Herr Acker. I think overall it cancelled out the loss of the bombard cannons. We see that Jesse the Emperor still in the game over here. He still has a TC. He might chop through and get a little bit more space here from Herr Acker. Basically also has abandoned this area, but all the resources are starting to be mined out. And let's look for neutral markets maybe. Maybe there's an opportunity to at some point trade with a market of an opponent, but I'm not sure if that is in the cards. So for now we have a lot more fighting in the center, and I think overall I think the composition of Foodplies is better with the heavy camels, and then also the Janissaries, who have 22 attack, so they can easily punch through the pierce armor of the Paladins. And I think that Acker, I don't know, he either just needs to spam until he can just switch to pure trash, or both players have to switch to pure trash, or he needs something else in support. I think Halberdiers would actually be a good option for him to counter the camels, because Halberdiers wreck camels. The skirmishes are not a very good option. I mean, they're good against the Janissaries, but there's not too many Janissaries left at this point. I think you need something against cavalry, especially with the raids coming in. Now Hussars in the economy of Herr Acker, raiding him more and more. And yes, this is gonna be interesting to see who is coming out on top. Now a nice choke point again, this time better for Herr Acker, because he has the ranged units in support, even though they only deal 5 or 1 damage per shot to the camels. These are enough skirmishes so that you notice it. Still raiding Hussars in the back of Herr Acker's base, and he really needs to fix that. But the good thing for Herr Acker is that he has gotten control over the gold of Fredinowicz, and is now able to still mine some gold, whereas Foodplies, I'm not sure if he still has gold miners left. I don't think so, and no, he doesn't, but maybe he secured enough relics to just squeeze a win out until the late game matters. Now let's see where his monastery is, so we can check where the relics are. But the question is, where is his monastery? Anyways, we'll spot it eventually, and then we can count the relics that he has. Otherwise, now Foodplies in full-on Hussar spam mode, which is exactly what he needs actually against the skirmishes and heavy scorpions. So heavy scorpions, not a good, like the worst choice for Herr Acker, because they're not really good against the Janissaries, and they're not good against anything else. And yeah, still the raids going on, so many dead villages here. Herr Acker now down below 100 villagers. Foodplies still well above 125 villagers. And Foodplies also expanding all across the map. And but the better army is now for Herr Acker with the Paladins. The Scorpions can actually work in the choke points. If he's really fighting in choke points, then the Scorpions can do a lot of damage, especially also to the Hussars, who actually do have an extra pierce armor. but this doesn't really matter at this point with the skirmishes of Herr Acker, because they anyways don't deal that much damage. But now we have some bombard cannons here, and the bombard cannons plus a choke point means that it's very difficult for Herr Acker to push. So he will need his own bombard cannons probably. And yeah, he's still mining the gold over here, and maybe could think about chopping through the forest a little bit to maybe get to his opponent, raid him a little bit, or find some extra resources hidden somewhere on the map. Now let's look at the point of view of Herr Acker for a moment to see if he got the relic trickle, and indeed he has the relic trickling in for him, the gold from the relics. And again, I don't spot the monastery, but I'm sure it's somewhere. There it is. He has 3 relics, so that must mean that Fuplis probably has 2 relics at this point. So it's very, very even. But of course, Turk player needs a little bit more, because Turk player needs a little bit more help in this game. Now Jesse fully rebooming, so Jesse could always king snipe. Remember, this is a regicide game, so you can just cut through the forest, use an onager, cut through the forest. Oh yeah, and by the way, Fuplis, as the Turks, doesn't get onagers as well. So no cutting for him, except with traps. So that is why Turks wasn't a great pick in my opinion. But yeah, he would have had a chance with the Wonder. Maybe he still has a chance with Wonder, but I think his gold is just running out. He can still take more stone, he can sell the stone, but now we have the full-on trash composition by Herr Acker, and honestly, the halberdiers just Shrek anything that Fuplis has, really. I mean, yeah, he has some Janissaries left that can kill a lot of the halberdiers, but halberdiers are basically for free at this stage of the game. And now we got some trebuchets, we got some onagers here from Herr Acker. He has got the light calves now. It's only light calf, but still, it's good enough. Good enough. And so yeah, very good position here for Herr Acker, I would say. Even though Fuplis still has a lot of the map, but I think he's just very, very focused on the center, focused on fighting Fuplis. And Jesse the Emperor could actually be the deciding factor. He is coming back into the game. He now has 59 villagers, and only 4 of them are idle, so they're all working. He's bringing a lot of food, a lot of wood. He's still in the Castle Age, so he really needs to go up to Imperial Age before he does anything. But he can just chill. He can maybe cut through here and let the others fight it out. And then once one player is defeated, he can just kill the king and win the game. So lots of options there. He was basically defeated, but then there wasn't enough time. Fupi's now trying to build another castle here, but the castle is already besieged by Lightcalf, and I think the skirmishers could even deny it. And even this, if the skirmishers don't deny it, then we have the trebuchets. So I think Herr Acker now pushing, and yeah, that's what we said in the beginning. It's just tricky with the Turks in the very late game. I mean, they have a very good push in early Imperial Age, but just terrible push in the very, very late game, or terrible composition. He basically only has hussars that he can spare for. I mean, those are very, very good hussars with the extra pierce armor, and he will find some nice trebuchet kills over here, I'm sure. At least if the hussars are not fumbling around, but it seems like they are able to do the job. But I don't see a way for Fuplis, who's now dropping in pop. He's not able to sustain production, because what would he produce even at this moment? Let's look at his resources. Also, resources not looking great. He was trying to raid. I think he would need some production building somewhere to just flood into the economy. Something like that. Otherwise, I don't see it. His queue was empty because he didn't have enough food, even though he has 55 on food. There's 7,000 wood in the bag, but that's not a lot for a Black Forest free-for-all game. And so this looks like Herr Acker's game to lose at the moment, unless Jesse the Emperor is actually sniping one of the kings, which I think he should at least attempt. But he needs to go imp for that, otherwise it won't work. Now at this point, Herr Acker doesn't have too many halberdiers, so that might be a good point in time, although there are more halberdiers coming. So maybe probably not a good moment in time to push him. I don't think there's ever a good enough good moment in time to push Herr Acker anymore for the Turks. Herr Acker still has paladins, and probably due to the gold trickle, he could produce some more. He could he could still take the gold, but he's not. He's not even taking the gold. He moved the villagers off of the gold that was still there. Oh no, it's a bug. Okay, it's not there anymore. Fair enough. We got some visual bugs this time around. So some of the resources are actually not there anymore. So he took all the gold. He's now also out of gold officially. Some nice raids here by Fuplis, who managed to sneak in a Hussar, and that Hussar will kill more villages. But Herr Acker still at close to 100, and he's just steamrolling. Even though he was fighting in the beginning so much with Jesse the Emperor, and now those players are actually in the best positions. So let's see what Jesse the Emperor will do. He is the Hindustanis, so I'm not sure what he would go for. Maybe some Elephant Archers plus Siege combination, or maybe some Ghulams, or maybe even Imperial Camels against all that cavalry spam. All of these options could be very good, and yeah, let's see what he can do. But I think he's trying to chop through to Herr Acker. And yeah, but the thing is, he needs to find the right castle and then snipe the king if he wants to do that. Now there's a slow, continuous push by Herr Acker into the base of Fuplis, but the push has not really reached the base of Fuplis at all. And Fuplis is trying to prepare a counter to what Herr Acker has, but I'm not sure if everything will be in time and if he has the resources. Now Fuplis still has a stone here in the back, so he could always take more stone, get a few more castles defensively, or just sell the stone. I'm sure the stone price is pretty decent at this point, and just produce more that way. But it seems like Fuplis still has a good amount of gold left over to produce more units and maybe push back against Herr Acker. Now, yeah, it's ridiculous. The viewers will probably laugh at me for not seeing the monastery from Fuplis, but that's fine. Now I see it. Finally, 2 relics. Okay, just to confirm. And now here comes the big push of Herr Acker, but Fuplis deletes the walls. He doesn't want to have the choke point, and that's a good idea because we do have the onager, and one onager shot could be disastrous there. And we see the champion switch from our Turk player from Fuplis. Very good against all these trash units that Herr Acker has. And I don't know if the Turks do get Gambesons. I think he's missing the Gambesons tech there, probably. Yes, they don't get Gambesons, so he has the full amount of pierce armor, but the onager shots, he really needs to be able to kill the onager fast. And that is what he's doing. Now he's pushing back. Look at this, and Champion's very good against building, so he could just, if he keeps the momentum going, the timing and the momentum, as Mem would say, then he should be able to maybe make something happen and push Herr Acker back. But look at this, Herr Acker already prepared the paladins, and the paladins will just completely destroy the champions. Now let's look at the Emperor. The Emperor is calm. He's still not in Imperial Age. Which is surprising, but maybe also unnecessary. Doesn't going to the Imperial Age might just put him on the map. But looking at this, I see that he has already queued the Imperial Age. Is now going up to it. So I spoke too soon. The Emperor knows what he's doing. He's got the Hindustanis. He's got a good economy going. He can just let the other players fight and then steal the kill. But he should only do that in the exact moment that one of the other players is defeated. That's when he should strike. So now is not the time to strike. And we see that this push of Fuplis is kind of working. He's just spamming so many units, and even even the paladins are not enough, because there's enough camels to support the champions to make something happen here. And Food Priest is pushing back to the center. He's securing the stone, he's securing this TC over here, and there's even some stone left here as well. And yeah, nothing from Heaka, who just lost the momentum at all. I don't know, where are his production buildings? They're all over here. So maybe the production buildings need to be more over here if he's coming from this angle. Or he should just ignore this and just maybe try to raid Food Priest's space. So Food Priest still completely safe at the space, doing a very nice job here, refreshing the lumber camps everywhere, having a nice farming setup, and doing overall a very good job. Although I wonder if he's maybe missing a farm upgrade. Hard to tell. Okay, yeah, this farm has more food. Okay, was just that all these farms were built at the same time as they usually are. Now we got some hand cannoneers, but they're just not patrolling in. They're just being shreked by the hussars. And now some more walls coming up, but by Heaka. But Heaka is also blocking the villagers, building the walls. Now they're moving out of the way, but I think there's still a hole. But the halberdiers can easily hold this choke point forever if Food Priest doesn't delete the walls, which is what he should do to really push through here. But I think he's occupied elsewhere, and so he's just losing everything in this choke point. Now finally deleting the walls over here. But the hand cannoneers, they're good. They can just shoot from behind the walls. Yes, but Heaka needs to make sure that he can lock the gate, which you can now do before you complete it. Whereas usually you had to complete the gate and then lock it, but now you can do it beforehand. And look at this, Jesse the Emperor. He is expanding. He has units now. He is in Imperial Age, and he is ready to strike. He's probably waiting for some more upgrades, for some more units, some more pop. But yeah, if he just rebooms a little bit longer, gets some more upgrades, gets a good death ball going, he could just also steal the victory right here. If he is able to strike in the right moment. He needs to strike in the exact right moment when either of the other players is about to be defeated or just defeated. But this is just a meat grinder. Such is the way of closed maps. We almost had a quick game with the Wanderers, but alas, we weren't granted that wish. And now it's Heaka who is able to push back again with skirms, hand cannons, and paladins. And yeah, as I said, I think he just has more options. He also has more gold available. There's even some gold left on the map, but I doubt that the players will ever find that gold because it's hidden in the forest somewhere. And there's other ways of generating gold potentially, but yeah, that's just I don't think the players can afford to even think about that because they need to keep their spam going. Now Food Priest also has a lot of idle army everywhere, but yeah, he's very occupied just defending from the main push. He's now switched back to just pure Hussar raid or pure Hussar production, which is good against the current composition actually of Heaka. He doesn't have enough halberdiers. I think Heaka needs more barracks in general. He needs more barracks, needs the barracks forward. Also we see that Jesse the Emperor has been noticed, and I think so at least, and we see that there are some halberdiers being dispatched, and the halberdiers will just shred the armored elephants and light cav. And so I think Jesse the Emperor maybe made the move a little bit too early, or are these halberdiers not even there to attack? Yes, they are, and the armored elephants just melt to halberdiers. And so Jesse the Emperor is basically back to square nothing. He only has units that are weak to halberdiers, and yeah, so you see that it only takes a few halberdiers to stop this push completely. Now the center still a meat grinder. None of the players thinking about going to a different location, maybe going for something else, maybe opening a different alley of attack. But now we see Food Priest actually running in here, and excuse this graphical bug, this castle actually no longer here. This castle is standing, this castle is standing, and this castle is standing. So it's a little bit confusing, but now Futli's running in, and this could be a very, very nice raid. And if you do that enough, then actually Futlis could still win this, even though Herr Acker holds the center and he's able to push forward, but he just doesn't have to punch. He's just hung up on the buildings. He's annoyed by Jesse the Emperor over here. Jesse, of course, yeah, being maybe a little bit too brazen with this armored elephants and the cavalry, but soon enough the halberdier will be dealt with. But Jesse really needs ballistics, otherwise this is these halberdiers will never go down. But still, Jesse not out of this. 61 villagers, 2 more halberdiers to dispatch, and then he can go back to booming, I would say. Second town center would still help. Just cycle through them with your select town center hotkey, but yes, still he's in the game. He could still make something happen. Where in the meantime we have some super nice raids here by Futlis, who just killed a lot of villagers of Herr Acker, who is down to 74 villagers, and this is too few. Herr Acker needs some more defenses, needs some more walls, needs some more something to defend from this, for sure. And yeah, you could even think about cutting and sniping. There's so many options that you have, but you get this tunnel vision. You're like, oh, the center, I need to push through the center. And so he's really occupied with just clearing out the buildings of Futlis. And yeah, so he's just taking a lot of time there, to be honest. But yeah, so we're really stalematy, in a really stalematy situation here, but more champions, a completely new champion army has been raised, has been levied by the overlord Futlis, who is forcing his vassals to fight in his stead, run into the meat grinder. And yeah, the champions, it's probably one of his only choices that he has, but still there are some palisades he probably should delete again. So these walls, I think they don't work in his favor in many of these situations. Also, he needs more hussars. He's losing so many of these champions. Also because the skirmishers actually, do they? Yes, they actually do. No, they only do 1 damage as well to the champions. Okay, so the skirmishers pretty weak against the champions, and so now we see this whole battle going the other way again, and it's an endless slog on Black Forest. It could have ended sooner, but yeah, that it is what it is. Honestly, I wonder if any of these players could just build a wonder again and just do it that way, because there's no real punch anymore. The armies don't have any punch. Futlis now raiding again, but we have some 25 halberdiers just standing there in the center of Herr Acker's base, just waiting for some friendly company of hussars, but they're not going there. The hussars are going straight to the back, straight to the farms, and then straight to the woodcutters. But there is more halberdiers on duty, but that's also bad for Herr Acker, because now he has so many halberdiers that he has to keep in his economy. And speaking of economy, he has fallen behind quite a bit in terms of economy because of these constant raids by Futlis, who is now doing a little raid here of Jesse the Emperor. I think that's unnecessary. I think he should just focus all his attention on Herr Acker. And it seems like Jesse doesn't have any upgrades from the blacksmith. So the town centers, each arrow of the town center only deals 1 damage to the hussars. The same for the tower, so that's why this is a massacre underneath the town center of Jesse the Emperor, who is now again reduced back to square nothing basically, and he refuses to build a second town center. He's like, I will never ever in my entire life build a second town center, because this is not how I play. I play like a real man with a single town center. Yeah, so still hussars, still raids, and it just takes so long for the hussars to be killed. You really need the fletching, bodkin arrow, and bracer and chemistry, of course, to deal with these hussars. Now finally it seems like they're being killed off. But Jesse is again down to 26 villagers, so a few hussars were quite effective in raiding over here. Now Food Please, in the meantime, pushing. Now he also has a trebuchet, and he might be actually able to kill one of the castles of Herr Acker, and this is very important. Even if this push is being stopped, as long as he's able to kill the castle, he has made some significant progress in this battle, and I never thought the Turks could really hold up late game. I am impressed. Food Please proving me wrong once again. He knew about the Sith's strengths and yeah, is able to actually not only hold but also push. At the same time, he's streaming in hussars, these super strong hussars. I mean, he's streaming them into the meat grinder, but it doesn't really matter. It's occupying army of Haka, who's also trying to desperately get back to more than 70 villages. At this point, Fedinovic has more villages than Haka. And yes, still, there's this on the map, and then we have these neutral golds and stones. But I don't think they will play a role at all. As I said, now the castle is being repaired, the trap is being attacked maybe, so this will all be for nothing. The castle doesn't go down, but it's a lot of stone that has to be spent here by Haka to repair it. So he only has 15 left, and so in the end, I mean, it's cheaper for francs, of course, because the castles are cheaper. So these 15 stone actually gave him almost 1,000 hit points. But now he's out of stone. He needs to buy more, or Fupis might be able to kill the castle in the next wave of attack. And it's an ebb and flow of battle going back and forth in the center. And Jesse the Emperor always being cut down to his size by either player and then re-booming. I think if they gave Jesse a little bit more chance to come back into this game properly, it might have been a quicker end, but of course no one wants to be the one that is being sniped by Jesse the Emperor. And again, more raids, and I think the raids are what is doing this for Food Please at the moment. It's killing more and more villages, and each villager only costs 50 food, but it's 50 food that you spend, and you might not even get the return on investment here. More villages going down. Herr Acker has reboomed, but still he's always producing villagers, always has to produce villagers, because he's just being raided constantly. Now this on the wood line just hurts so much, and the villagers cannot really fight the hussars. It's just impossible. I think Aka just needs to have some halberdiers on defensive stand near the wood line to make sure that he's not being raided. But at the same time, he's finally reached the gates, or the gate of Food Please. And there are some weak points in the wall, and he can run through, but Food Please is able to mass more army behind to stop this push. Neither player ever thinking about going a different way, maybe going towards Fedinovich's base and then coming in from there, or going through the center. They're all hyper focused on this one angle of attack, and Haka going in, but he doesn't have enough units, and I think Food Please will just easily stop this. Yes, the paladins are super strong and will kill so much, but in the end, I think this will be pushed back by Food Please. Now, Jesse the Emperor, actually, and check this out, guys. He built a second town center.
What? Insane.
And a castle. So now he's playing. He is playing. He needs a blacksmith. No, he has a blacksmith. And he needs a university for ballistics. But yeah, he is playing. He is coming back. Now he's saying, okay, now I'm really going to try to come back into this game. And he could. And if we look at the tech tree, he also, well, he does have some decent options. Maybe not the best trash options there, but he does get Hussar. He does get Pikemen at least. And he gets Elite Skirmisher, so much better than the Turks for sure. Also has very good camels, good gunpowder. and he could just put an end to this endless grind that's been going on for, I would say, half an hour real time.
Ridiculous.
It's exactly what we wanted to avoid with these extra victory conditions, and it almost worked, as I said, but not with these players. Just too many rookie mistakes, and so now we're forced into witnessing the meat grinder. And this castle still standing, the castle doing excellent job against the Hussars, but the Hussars can run through and pick on these poor lumberjacks again. But this time Herr Acker notices the halberdiers are there, and he's even retreating with the villagers, and that is exactly what he needs to do. He cannot let Fuplies get away with all of these raids, and yeah, the Hussars of Fuplies, they are just getting killed. At the same time, we have a battle at the choke point at Fuplies' base. And again, no one's trying anything. No, like, using an onager to cut. No second wonder. No king snipe. There's so many ways you could win this game, but both players are basically, they're stunned. They don't dare to do this anymore. And look at this, guys. It's a miracle. A miracle is happening. Jesse the Emperor has built not 2, but 3 town centers in this game. I'm very proud of him. If you remember the first game in this Couch Cup, he was fumbling. I mean, he was very rusty, he was very busy, he's very, of course, a very successful entrepreneur, so he doesn't have too much time for playing Age of Empires. But now, after a few games, he's improved his skill level dramatically. He's so capable of adapting, and he's now has placed 3 town centers, producing from all 3 of them. Look at this. He has basically 15 villagers, more than 15 villagers in the queue, up to 66 villages. Now, if he expands the farmlands and gets the production buildings up, then he will be nigh unstoppable. And look at this, he's also very smart. He has all these fake out structures. He has the towers, he has the castle, he has the town center, and you don't know where is the king. If you try to snipe him, it's very difficult because you don't know where the king exactly is. And that's also what successful players on Regicide settings usually do. They usually have some villages hiding in some castles to make the enemy think that the king is actually in there. There is, of course, a tech that can show you the enemy king location, but you have to research it. It costs money, and so you don't always want to do this. Now I think we're getting ready for another showdown in the center between Fuplies and Herr Acker. Let's see what's happening here. Herr Acker not patrolling, now finally patrolling. We have some gunpowder again, which is of course very good against the halberdiers, and also the swordsmen are good against the halberdiers, but the hussars are just being shredded by the halberdiers. So overall, pretty costly fight for both sides, to be honest. We even see some two-handed swordsmen for Herr Acker. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this infantry. If you don't have good infantry, I mean, for Fuplies, it's the only choice he got, so he has to go for it. But for Acker, it's not the right choice. But look at this Fuplies now, trying to downsize Jesse again, and this is just unfortunate that they're just not letting him back into the game. They have realized that he can be a menace. But look at this, Jesse the Emperor now has +2 attack, so now he has 7 attack. Which still means only 1 damage to the Hussar, so he still needs a few more upgrades. But I think he probably got chemistry in the meantime, and he got the castle. And also Herr Acker sending some skirms there to raid Jesse the Emperor, but Jesse the Emperor still in the game, and now Fuplies completely focusing on Jesse the Emperor, and I think that might be a mistake, because that gives Herr Acker the chance to maybe break through. But look at this. Look at this, Herr Acker is occupied here with the first layer of walls, the second layer of walls, the third layer of walls, and this is why you need an onager. Onager right here, cut through the wood line, and then you're in. But maybe we'll see that in the later stages of the game. At the same time, Fuplies losing a lot in the economy of Jesse the Emperor, who has now more TCs, and that means he can garrison more villages. Yes, he again will lose a lot of them, but he's also able to defend, now also able to produce some light cavalries of his own, which are very good against the skirmishers. So compared to the last raid, just a much better position for the Emperor, who is now able to easily deal with the Hussars, even though they keep on streaming in. But we got the towers over here. The towers shoot at the Hussars. Okay, ballistics has not been researched, and the towers also not doing enough damage to deal more than 1 damage. But it's fine. It's totally fine. The fighting between Herr Acker and Food Please resumes, and I cannot believe that we're still in this game. We're still casting this. 3 players in the game. It's a complete stalemate. All the players are basically mentally wrecked at this point. They have 3 more games to play after this. No, 4! There's another game to play in this round. And this is basically worst case scenario. But now we finally have the Onager coming in. Oh, don't kill your own units. And yes! Herr Acker, for the first time in this game, enters the base of Food Please. And will this be the beginning of the end? I don't think so, because it's just some halberdiers, and he's even killing them with his own mangonel. Oh god, look at this! It's like 1000 HP worth of damage, and also he's now not raiding, but going to the front. So yeah, so okay, so guys, buckle up. This might be a very, very long series indeed. I mean, luckily I opened beer. I got this delicious Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Freddy now coming back from hiding. Freddy should get some beverage. There's some more tumor pills as well. And he can
about to sub in players.
So yes, but it's really surprising to me because Herr Acker has more relics, he has the better trash, and he's still not able to gain any ground. Nothing. Like literally, how much ground can he get? Food Please?
0!
0 ground.
Literally 0.
So yeah, it's just slow meat grind, just slow television at this point, I guess. You just see it's like a diorama. You see all of these small figures just walking along this landscape, doing something. It's actually quite beautiful. And now we see that Jesse the Emperor
Why are you looking at you, asshole?
now also starts to go for light cav. He now has the +4 armor, and so he will try to make a difference at some point. I think he needs to expand down here. There's a lot of trees down here. I think he needs a lumber camp and just chop in this direction. Maybe even get a mangonel and just, I don't know, just go all the way to the corner, maybe make a little cubby and expand. Or the problem for Jesse the Emperor is that he's not on the other side. If he was on the other side, he could expand to here and here, but he's basically still between those other players who are fighting, and all of his villages are in peril because stray army from Food Please and Herr Acker can just run into his economy and wreck him again. I think.
My Trevor Acker, please, they're so expensive. No.
and Jesse still needs chemistry from the university to get one more attack, and then he also should get Bracer in the blacksmith, because then his town centers are a little bit more effective against the Hussars whenever they're raiding. But that is just a small side note. So far, no King Snipe also on Jesse the Emperor. Now Food Please, what is he doing? Ah yes, Food Please now having skirmishes. Not elite skirmishes, but skirmishes. Fighting with a feudal age unit, but he has no choice. he does not have choice. He has to use them against the Halberdiers. And to be honest, it's a little bit deceiving because you think a Fuel Age unit against an Imperial Age unit, but actually skirmishes are fine against Halberdiers because most of their damage, or a lot of their damage, comes from bonus damage. Also, the Turks do get Bracer, so they do have the range, they do have the attack. And now Jesse is in the fray, killing some of the skirmishes and trying to make a difference here. I don't know, both players still fixated on the center. There's a nice group of Hussars just chilling over here, just having a nice stroll in the woods. And yeah, the economy of Food Please starts to feel like it's a Food Please economy again. We see a lot of idols over here. He was very good with refreshing the lumber camp. I complimented him on that, but now not so much anymore. Still stone to take. I think this is just an oversight. Just take the stone over here. You will need it. You will be able to use it. Now we have two-handed swordsmen from the Franks, and they're just... I mean, they're good against the skirmishes for sure. I don't think they're too good against the Hussars. I mean, yes, they're decent, but they're not overpowering the Hussars, I think. I think they're much better. But I think overall against the composition of Food Please, they're probably a decent choice. But I would prefer maybe some throwing X-Men. But they're probably too expensive at this point. Now there is a trap by Food Please, so he is trying to gain access to the base of Herr Acker. But it's just a slow process, and yeah, he lost all of his army, and the trap will just go down to the... Will it go down to the light cav? I think it will go down to the light cavalry, and yeah, it's just... I don't know what to say. It's a very cozy game, almost. Cozy game of Black Forest. Let's look at the economy of Herr Acker for a moment. It's sprawling. It's, I would say, almost American. Urban sprawl in his base. A lot of farms everywhere. Spaced out houses. He's now cutting towards the corners. So, as I said, there is still gold on the map. But I still don't think that any player will ever find it. It's 6 tiles of gold. Then there's at least 6 tiles of stone.
What the hell?
No, it's more. It's 6, it's 10, it's 11 tiles of stone left on the map. And most of it is accessible to the players. So we got this here. We got the tile left here. It's a graphical bug. And then we got this juicy stone right over here. And then we got this. And then we got this. So yeah, so all the players still could make something happen. Now Jesse the Emperor being raided over here now by Herr Acker. So that's why I say Jesse the Emperor needs to expand down here. Just go here and expand a little bit in that direction, or maybe up here even. But he's not doing that, or it's probably not going to work. But maybe you can sneak a villager through the entire map all the way to the other side over here. That would be amazing. Just sneak to the other side and just have these green pastures on the other side for yourself to expand and explore. But so far he is being raided, but he now has chemistry, and with chemistry he finally does 2 damage to the light calves of the Franks with town centers, which is a massive improvement. Definitely worth it. He should still get Bracer, but yeah, it's just very hard to afford it because he also doesn't have any gold. Yeah, what maybe he could do. Oh, you know what he could do, what Jesse should do, but it's a very sneaky maneuver. He could maybe go for a sneaky market trade with Herr Acker at some point. But now Herr Acker actually creating a trebuchet, and instead of sending it towards Food Please to try and win the game, he's sending it towards Jesse the Emperor to just keep him down, keep him small, keeping him petite. So that is what he's doing with that precious trap. and he's killing one of the town centers of Jesse the Emperor, which is very unfortunate. But luckily, Jesse still has 2 more, so this is very, very nice. Now also coming in with a ram. So yeah, 2 gold units against Jesse the Emperor, who's still not a threat. Has never been a threat so far, at least, but he might be a threat at some point. Jesse also needs ballistics in this game, but yeah, hard to afford. Now we got this nice little cubby here. Buy food, please, with a lot of production buildings, but Herr Acker found them, and Herr Acker is there with skirmishers, halberdiers, 2-handed swordsmen, and I think he can clean these production buildings again, but it will just also require a long, long time to clean it. And well, maybe not. He does have a ram. First ram we see in the game. It's a capped ram, so it will do decent damage against the buildings. And the buildings, I'm not sure. They have not been upgraded at all, I think. So neither player going for any of the upgrades. Haka still has this nice cubby over here for him to expand. So yeah, I don't see this ending soon, especially with Herr Acker now using both of his traps against Jesse the Emperor, just to kill farms in Emperor's base. This is, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he thinks it's worthwhile. This farmland, it's not good for the environment. And now he's coming with this trap. So one trap he specifically tasks to kill farms, and the other trap he now tasks to actually kill the castle of the Emperor. But I think, I hope the Emperor is able to stop him with his light cav. That the Emperor is able to run around and kill the trebuchets with the light cavalry. Just send them there, just kill the trebuchets, and make Aka pay, who should have won this game an hour ago, in my opinion, because of the wonder. But alas, now he has to do it the hard way, and he might not get away with the win after all. Let's see what Foodpiece is doing. I think Foodpiece just zoned out. I think it's just, his brain is fried. Jesse now losing the castle, which is a shame, unnecessary. He could have killed the traps with the light cav. It's really a shame that they're focusing so hard on Jesse the Emperor. He doesn't get any breathing room the entire game, so props to him for sticking with it, for still trying to fight it out. And yeah, still more light cav coming in, but now I think we'll almost have all the upgrades. Now also the towers are able to do some damage here to the light cav. So very nicely done here by Jesse the Emperor. And now the trebuchets.
Yeah,
Aka. So that's why I said don't use your gold units against Jesse the Emperor. It's just not worth it. You will, yeah, in the best case you kill Jesse, okay, you gain nothing, and in the worst case you just lose your gold units, and it looks like one of the trebuchets is going down right away. The other one might even survive depending on the pathing and everything, and how the trebuchet moves, and maybe if he does repair it. No, so 2 trebuchets down for Herr Acker, just because he's like, oh, Jesse is the biggest threat, which he isn't. And at the same time, and look at this, he is getting absolutely raided in his space once again. No lumberjacks left here anymore. Again, below 100 pop is Herr Acker, and the kill death is now in the thousands. And okay, food please, more kills, and yeah, 2060 kills against 1900 deaths, and Herr Acker almost having an even kill death ratio at this point. He's now feeding off of Jesse the Emperor, wasting paladins at Jesse's base. This is questionable at best, I have to say. But yeah, what can you do? I'm not sure. Probably the paladin are enough to kill the town center almost. Or yeah, they might be even enough to kill the town center. That's ridiculous. The paladins of the Franks are just incredibly strong. Even though Jesse now finally got all the upgrades. that he needs, but he doesn't have enough villages in the town center's garrison, so it's only 3 arrows that are being fired with each shot over here, and only 2 arrows being fired over here, but it seems like he might be safe for now. But yeah, Haka just relentless, just pushing the wrong angle, now making barracks, but he's making the barracks over here instead of in the center where they're desperately needed. And maybe that gives Fupli some time to push. Push. But doesn't seem to be the case. Jesse the Emperor still in the game. 4 town centers for Jesse the Emperor, but he needs space. 5 town centers even. So now he's really going ham on the TCs, but he needs to expand. He needs 1 onager. And take the onager and just cut through all the way through here. All across the entire map back here. Or something like that. Because you need the space. Yes, still same stalemate again. We have a group of champions. They can maybe make a little bit of progress, but no siege weapons, and champions are being sent into the meat grinder. This castle still standing, and it's 1 castle, 2 castles, 3 castles still standing there. And yeah, almost, I would say this map now is almost like a force nothing game. It could have been a force nothing start, and it could have been the same outcome. Yeah, but now finally we do have a trap again, but it's a little bit ambitious, the trap, I would have to say. Although now the gate finally is coming crashing down. I would just pack up the trap now and leave. But alas, this is not what Fuplis does. Traps are just so expensive, and I think he will lose this one as well, because he's losing all of his army, and all for what? All to just kill a single gate. No wonder attempt or anything by either players. I think if you actually manage to build the wonder, you don't need to build it with all the villages. Just build it with 10 villagers or something like that, and just hold. And that's all you need to do.
Yeah, first have to have some resources.
Just hold. But yeah, that's true. Haka saying that you need to have the resources. But if I look at Haka's resources, I see that he could actually afford it. I mean, yes, lot of selling and buying, especially the stone, is quite painful.
That's very painful.
It's extremely painful. But as I said, a lot of stone left on the map. In the center, there's so much stone, like 4 piles and another pile. Okay, it's only 50 left. But either player could just sacrifice a few villages just to get some stone out of the center. And again, there's additional resources somewhere on the map. And I of course won't say where. But yeah. So there's still the option of just mining the stone. It's definitely enough stone left for a wonder here, accessible to both players. And this is how they could do it. A nice touch here, which I didn't mention before from Haka, is actually that he did go for the fish boom in the beginning. But now we have time to talk about it. But yeah, now he has barracks over here at Jesse the Emperor's base just to stream the halberdiers towards the center. And yeah, and speaking of stone, I mean, there's some unconstructed stone walls here. Maybe you delete them, you get the stone back. So a lot of options still for all the players. Now, Jesse the Emperor finally having fully upgraded hussars. It took him, let me look at the clock, almost an hour, but he is finally there. And if we look at his economy, it's not that scary, but it could make a difference soon. All he needs is space, and I think he has that space over here. He just needs to cut through a little bit, and then he does have the space. He can expand, put a lot of production buildings, just put down 5 stables, and then just spam hussars until you have like 40 or 50 army, and then you just need some siege, and then you can start the sniping. But yeah, you see how this setup with the additional town centers is now just much better. He can always hop in the town centers, just defend, hop out. He's now moving over here, getting the wood. Let's look at the center a little bit. Yeah, nothing changed. The ebb and flow, like in the real tides, just going back and fourth in the center. A lot of archery range there by Food Please, probably with normal skirmishes, but it looks dire. I think with a different civilization, with a better late game, Food Please could have pushed this, but the Turks, it's just so difficult. Luckily, he finally found the stone over here. I'm not sure what he will use it for. Probably a castle, or just to sell it to get gold. But I think, yeah, the wonder is probably the best choice. I don't know. Don't want to give the players ideas that won't work, but yeah, I think we need something happening soon. Now again, Jesse the Emperor has a Mangonel, but again we need the Onager upgrade to actually be able to cut through the wood lines. And the Hindustanis do get Onager, unlike the Turks, who get nothing, who get 0.
0.
Well, they get some of the best hussars in the game, but that's not good enough if your opponent has halberdiers, 200 swordsmen, elite skirmishes, and it looks like there's a big force being mustered by Ha'aka here. And Ha'aka has more army at this moment, more population, and he can just run in. Fuplis at the same time, he is trying to get champions out again, to get another push, but Ha'aka finally is in. He might try to raid a little bit, but still the setup of Fuplis is pretty strong. The castle's in pretty strong location so far. Now finally, Fuplis also expanding over here, and he's mining some phantom resources. I think it's the bug is maybe in the game as well, because he didn't see it. But there's maybe other riches to be found over here. Maybe a sneaky thing that the players could do over here. Maybe cut through, get resources, or get resources elsewhere. Now look at this, Jesse the Emperor up to 31 hussars, and now finally he can fend for himself. He is now also creating some archery ranges, and he's now being serious about coming back into this game. Now Fuplis needs to be careful that he doesn't run into the bombard towers that are left from Fredinu, which is the base. I don't know, Fredinu, which has disappeared, I think. He's left the couch cup. He's called GG. And yeah, Fuplis now using outposts to just look around the map. And yeah, he sees a lot. He sees everything. He sees everything he needs to see. And yeah, he needs to hold in the center. But there is a clear win condition, I feel like, for all the players. And yeah, but Ha'aka has spotted him there as well, because Ha'aka is there as well, and now some stables are being dropped on the side, and finally we see some shift in the momentum in the game with a new area being explored, whereas the central meat grinder still is active. It's close to Food Please's base, and Freddy is back. Freddy, I thought he just left. Booked a flight to
A better location.
to Las Vegas or something, while these plebs are playing. Now we got some. Oh, whoa! Okay, fair enough. The private jet can always take you there really quickly. And now Ha'aka also dropping siege workshop and stable, so they now fight for this side as well. And I like this, and it's very important actually, because there's something there that those players both need to win the game. I don't think, yeah. So, but Jesse now, moving up,
Jesse, why me?
doesn't have Onager.
Does have much more points. Kill Food, please.
Must be 3,000.
But yeah, still, Ha'aka now has built the buildings there, but he's not able to defend. I think he will lose his villagers, and those villagers are quite precious in the corner. He will lose them to the hussar and the unupgrade or non-elite skirmishes. But yeah, he could still produce some knights or hussars there, or light cav there, to push back. Food please. Ah, the food please now cutting. It's not what I had in mind, but yeah. Now Jesse is back in the game. He has the Mangonel, he has the heavy camel riders fully upgraded, he's got the hussars, and yeah, Jesse is officially back. And Jesse has archery ranges, he just needs barracks, he needs stables, he just needs more production buildings, he needs some siege workshops, and yeah, he has, again, he does have a castle, and he has the highest number of villagers I think he ever had in a game, which is over 100.
Wow.
He might even be approaching 200 pop at some point. Not quite there yet, but I think he will be able to. But look at this push by Food Please with a 200 swordsman. I think he is going for the snipe. And let's look at where the king is. There is a flag. No, there is a flag on this castle. So maybe by just killing this castle, Food Please can force out the king and win. And even if he is not able to do that, he can still kill a castle. And how did this happen? Suddenly, Food Please able to march forward, muster up enough swordsmen to actually push Herr Acker. But it unfortunately was the wrong castle. The king is not in there. Maybe the king is in the town center. Maybe the king is somewhere completely different. We never know. Best is to just hide your king away. And yeah, now we have the problem that we have the barracks of Herr Acker who are streaming back to his base. But Jesse is there. And Jesse is actually fighting him with hussars. Of course, not a great fight for him. But it is a fight nonetheless, and Food Please able to kill more, probably able to kill this town center as well. Probably the best he can do with the swordsman, just kill more buildings and make it super messy for Herr Acker, because Herr Acker needs to rebuild everything. At the same time, Herr Acker regaining this little cubby, but he doesn't have any villagers there anymore. So I don't know how valuable this is for him, but now we have both players, Jesse the Emperor and Food Please, converging on Herr Acker, even though Herr Acker is now in the worst position, and this looks like it's Herr Acker will lose. I mean, Herr Acker is 130 pop, he's being raided from both sides, even though now Jesse also fights against Food Please. It's not quite clear at this point, and I think Herr Acker has to go into hiding. He needs to retreat to this corner. He will lose a major portion of his base. This castle will go down to the trebuchet. And how did Food Please do this? How did he just come back? I think what saved him was the stone in the back of his base that he could mine, which was a nice boost of resources that he could use for swordsmen. And also he snuck out a few villagers, so he has additional corners to go to. And yeah, now like 2 castles have been destroyed, and the trebuchet of Food Please being destroyed by Jesse the Emperor. So Jesse the great equalizer here, making sure that there's not too much progress being made. Still, 1 town center left for Herr Acker. 1 town center! And just a lot of empty space. And yeah, he's dropping in population. He's dropping in population. He doesn't have the resources, doesn't have the pop cap. Whereas Food Please has never been raided at home. Maybe Jesse will do that at some point. I think Jesse now needs to definitely be ready to snipe Food Please. That's the one thing he needs to do. But I don't see his army anymore. His army is gone. I don't know. He just threw it away. I think he threw it into the meat grinder of the halberdiers. And now there's some scary hussars of Food Please in his base, but I think they're being dealt with by the hussars of Jesse the Emperor. So yeah, a lot of fighting. So after a stalemate, we now have an interesting situation where Herr Acker is being completely pushed and raided to death. But at the same time, Jesse is now back into the game, and he is contributing to the fight against Food Please. And I think that's what he needs to do. He needs to fight against Food Please. And again, we also have some fight over here. We have some precious paladins being made over here, and maybe that's where Herr Acker wants to retreat to this little hidey hole over here. He's ramming down the stables that Food Please is spamming from, and so these hussars run from this side of the map all the way around to the other side. But effectively, the push by Food Police has been stopped for now, but great progress has been made. Getting closer and closer to the king, potentially, depending on where he's hiding out. And again, as I said, Jesse also back in the game. He's now coming out here, getting another town center. Maybe it's don't get too many more town centers because they cost 100 stone. And yeah, maybe we see a surprise victory by Jesse the Emperor, depending on also where the King of Food Please is. King Snipe is definitely in the cards, but I think that Food Please has lost the momentum a little bit, and although he still has 2 traps, but those traps might be sniped here by the Emperor himself, who is really contributing quite a lot to the fight. He is sniping 1 trap, maybe he's able to snipe a 2nd trap, but I think his light cap are just not able to, or his hussars are not able to pass through to the trap, but at least taking out 1 trap. Now Jesse will lose his own trap if he's not careful. I think he will just lose it. Yes, this trap is down. So the micro not quite there, but look at the minimap. He has this nice sausage-shaped base. I quite love the colors that he's painting on the map. But what he really needs is some barracks and some pikemen. He doesn't get halberdiers, but I think some pikemen would be in order here. Now, again, trying to get to the trebuchets, but there's just no way of getting there. But at the same time, now Aka also coming in from the side, and I think that's enough. That's all Aka needed. I think maybe this little moment of distraction that Jesse gave him, and he might be able to actually take out the trebuchet. It's not clear. Trebuchet could be taken down more as elite skirmishers who are just missing some armor upgrades are coming in from Jesse the Emperor, who is now fighting against both players basically. And yeah, I don't know, I'm not sure if Jesse has ballistics, but otherwise he's very good on upgrades. Trebuchet being besieged by flaming javelins, and it might go down, but so far it's not going down. And at the same time, no one going to the extra resources, no one going for extra win conditions in terms of wonders, but also in terms of other things that you could do. Other things you could do on this map. But neither player thinking about it, and how could they think about anything in this brain-frying situation? And honestly, so it might actually be worth it to just resign at some point, just to not be completely fried for the next round.
Never.
No.
But of course, the other players are good. Yeah, everybody's free to resign.
Quite resilient. So Aka was pretty GG this afternoon due to the tough program, but it seems like he has recovered a lot. He's playing very calmly, collected. He was pushed a lot, but now he's back. Base is still a mess, but he's got some paladins and hand cannons, so we cannot write him off. But I think he should reclaim this little cubby over here. Fought a lot about this cubby, and then he should really do this. This is what could win the game for either player. This thing right here. But yeah, so far neither player having the resources, the focus, the awareness of doing this. But I think overall best position is for sure for Food Please, because he has been unraided. He's now even able to push the Emperor with 3 trebuchets. 3 trebuchets on the Emperor. He never had that many trebuchets against Aka, but against the Emperor he can muster the strength. Losing 2, of course. I don't think that's worth it, to be honest.
That's true.
It's absolutely not worth it. You could have pushed Aka, but no. You choose to push the Emperor, who is still 100 villagers. But he doesn't have the military, doesn't have the composition, doesn't have the spamming going on. But he's doing a very, very good job.
Oh, don't snipe the Onager. Oh.
Good job overall, but still, I think it's wasteful to lose 2 trebuchets against Jesse the Emperor. I mean, that was... but the same... Haka did the same, where he lost 2 traps against Jesse the Emperor, so... It seems like they... Whenever they have siege weapons, they're like, oh, Jesse's there. Which is absolutely not how you play this map, how you play the objective, or alternative win conditions that he could do. Now again, Jesse trying to snipe the trap. He will get a few hits in. And the trap is down! 3 traps lost against the Emperor. Definitely not worth it, in my opinion. That's 600 gold. And how much gold does Fuplis have left? 0! Exactly. Now even losing a lot of his army numbers here. Whereas Haka is just able to come back, to push. Fuplis even standing up. Not even... do you want beer or Coke?
Coke.
I
mean, nothing is changing.
Yeah, because you're focusing on the wrong things. Waste. So 600 gold. That's almost enough for a wonder, and it's just wasted.
Yeah.
You need 1,000 gold, 1,000 stone, and 1,000 wood to build a wonder. 600 gold already in the bank. But wasted on Jesse the Emperor. Yes, he is ousting him, but who is that helping? Is it helping him? Or is it helping Haka? Because Jesse the Emperor is encroaching on the territory of Haka, especially here, which is a dramatic oversight by Haka if he loses this. So I think Fuplis attacking Jesse the Emperor is just a mistake. Wasting gold, if it's just Hussars, maybe, but wasting gold units over here, just as Jesse reaches more than 10,000 points for the first time, which is very nicely done. Yeah, and it's a meat grinder over here as well. Jesse now down to 56 villagers, but still, it's 56, much more than he had before. And look at this. This could be game deciding. But let's see who will go for that. That could also... So many cards are on the table.
That's so exciting.
Like, this is on the table, this is on the table, but all the players are so tunnel visioned. They're not thinking outside the box. They're not thinking about how to win this game. They're just like, oh, I gotta, you move units to the front. Gotta raid Jesse. But yeah, game is still going on, and yeah, more halberdier being streamed along the castle of Jesse the Emperor, who doesn't have ballistics, so the halberdiers are safe. But that would have been a lot of dead halberdiers if the castle would actually hit the shots.
Oh god.
And I think it's just bad positioning from Haka. He needs different avenues of attack now, losing a ram over here. No extra resources have been found. This has not been noticed yet by any player, even though this is absolutely game ending right over here. But yeah, what can you do? Again, we are back to the center, to the meat grinder as we call it, and I hope you're enjoying this as much as I do. So I didn't enjoy it maybe like half an hour ago, but now I actually start to enjoy it again because it's so ridiculous. The players get tired, they're really wrecked, but they're keeping in it. A lot of idle economy there for Jesse the Emperor. He needs to fix his idols. 33 idols out of 50 villagers. I mean, it's hard to come back time and time again, and it must be frustrating. You're the underdog, you basically have nothing, and then Fuki's like, all my gold units go to Jesse the Emperor. Must be frustrating, but he's keeping at it. He's keeping the other players honest, because he still plays a role in this game. He's still killing gold units of Food, please. But yeah, this is a major problem here, especially for Haaka. This is a major problem. And I think Fuplis wins this game either way because of oversight by the other players. And I think the game will end soon. Jesse, unfortunately, never able to get enough space to really come back into the game and get a big army going. He was always right at the front lines of the other players. He was always in sights of them, right in their sights. Herr Acker now dropping in population heavily. 40 villages. He's not rebooming. He's just given up at this point. He should reboom over here and over here, but he's just given up at this point. His spirits are broken. Yet better Civ, the better late game. Spirits are broken. He doesn't realize this. The monastery.
I collected them.
Okay, finally he realized it, but it's already too late. Missing, I don't know, several hundred gold, and Food Please is storming in. So neither player actually realizing that there's.
Actually collected already.
Yes, you already collected.
Oh my god!
The neutral market
Ridiculous.
by Freddy Newich in the top, which would have been so easy to use, but well, it doesn't exist. Doesn't exist anymore. Doesn't exist anymore.
But those goals are ridiculous. This one and this.
Yeah,
one
this
is
the goals,
completely
as I said,
ridiculous.
like you will never, they will not play a role in the match. But yeah, it looks like Fuplis is overpowering Haaka because Haaka does not reboom. He has 2 TCs, but he's constantly being raided. He needs to go somewhere else. I think this is Food Please's game, which will award him another 2 points, which will bring him up to 4 points.
Hard-earned 2 points.
And if he wages up another point,
No way.
he can actually make it 3 points. But the game is not over yet. Jesse the Emperor still in the game now, mustering up another army. He needs some siege. He needs some siege. And if he can get in here and snipe the king, then he will win.
He raided me. What? Nothing left.
But yeah, let's see what happens over here. But it looks like the spirits of Herr Acker are being broken. His economy is broken. But yeah, now constant stream of army coming in from Fuplis, and I think he finally got this. And incredible! I completely misread the situation. I was like, Turks super late game bad, but Fuplis showed us how it's done. How you can win with Turk champions who miss Gambesons, which is interesting. Now also the church going down again. Church was destroyed, and Herr Acker lost all the relics before. Herr Acker saying GG and resigning. And now it's only the Emperor left, who has mustered up an army,
Did you actually kill
and who is now trying to raid Food Please.
What?
But I think it's a little bit too late. But yeah, the neutral market is still standing. It's on the left-hand corner of Fredini, which is space, and you could have traded the entire time. I think 20 trade cards, even though maybe the distance, but yeah, could have been done. Still worth it to get that gold composition. Could have ended the game a lot earlier, but I mean, it is what it is. Now a ram on this castle of Jesse the Emperor, and now it's just a matter of time until this game is over. Although I have to mention, we have some beautiful raids by Jesse the Emperor, who has reboomed into this game, has fully I think it's the first time he ever wielded fully upgraded hussars. Probably. He boomed to over 100 villagers, and he's doing his deed in this game. Brutal raids in the economy. The only problem for him was just a little bit too late, but that was his positioning here. Just was very unfortunate in between the other players. And now this is where the king is. And now Food Please just needs to realize it and kill the TCs, but he's probably, his brain is fried. He cannot think straight anymore. He's now going for this TC, which is fair enough. But the king is not in here. The king is actually in the other TC. King could even still run to a tower or somewhere else, but I think the end is nigh for this incredible, insane game on Black Forest, featuring two wonders, featuring many rebooms by Jesse the Emperor, featuring ebb and flow between Haka and Fuplis, and finally featuring
The relic victory.
and Relic Victory! Yes! But die, says Fuplis, and wins this game. Well played, sir. Now let's look at the timeline. This was over 3 hours game time. Incredible. And what a game this was. But look at the very nice reboom of Jesse the Emperor. But Aka, I think he just was broken at some point. Just
game.
too stuck, too focused on one area. Not thinking about using the neutral market, for instance.
I don't think I saw it.
Using the onagers to cut through. You did see it, okay? Because I'm. Let's see. Fog of War. What? Okay, Fog of War is bugged. But yeah, probably didn't see it. No, I don't know.
I don't think I saw it.
No way of checking. No, I don't think you saw it. But anyways, could have looked for it. But yeah, also there would have been Relic Heist would have been possible for Fuplis earlier, or the Wonder, or just a good old cut and snipe. So I think for Haka, maybe a snipe on the left hand side would have been great. A cut and then try to make something up. But it's all hindsight. 2020 vision is in hindsight. What an incredible game. This was only the second game in the third round, so there's one more game to play, and I hope to see you then.